Dimeon Barker, in addition to having a kick-ass first name, one of the first fighters we've seen out of Usher MMA, and no, not that Usher. We might be in Atlanta, but this is Douglas Usher. Professional fighter and NFC regular. Now opening his own gym, Dimeon Barker. Dimeon, I got it right. I Bob Barker. Dimeon Barker.
I'm tired of buying jewelry, finna buy some land.
Dimeon, 32 years old, stands 6'3".
Who I be? Pillow talking to these
his second time entering the cage
they say money talk, put diamonds
for amateur MMA action.
I be Louis down with Jordans on my feet. Niggas messed up in your yard like trick or treat. You better play your cards right, you better not ever reach. For this chain over here, I put you
Dimeon Barker made his debut back in 2021. So a significant layoff here. We'll see if ring rust is a factor as he makes his return to the cage after almost 2.5 years away. The ring rust, such an interesting wild card, John. For some people, it's very evident. For others, they can take years off, and it's like they were just there yesterday.
Yeah, I made some meals on my merch too.
That time off affects everyone different. Some people come back more prepared and more ready to fight. Other people have a little bit of
And his opponent stepping into the red corner. This 28-year-old is making his NFC debut. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 244.1 pounds. Fighting out of Jefferson, Georgia, representing Creighton MMA, Antentio, Roland. This heavyweight contest between Dimeon Barker and Antentio Roland starts now.
John, have you trained with Tino?
I have trained with Tino before. I've only got to train with him one time, but it's a pleasure, man. He's a really nice guy and a phenomenal training partner. I'm really excited to see what Tino brings into the octagon tonight.
What were your takeaways from training with him?
He was a good wrestler, man. We only trained grappling, but he's very solid on the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to get a quick takedown here on Barker.
You see Barker very light on the feet, bouncing up and down. He has a significant size and reach advantage. Those legs incredibly long.
Tino pushing him up on the cage, looking for that single leg, head on the outside. They're pummeling on the cage. Tino with the underhook.
You see Tino rolling with an underhook, putting his weight on here. And John, this position right here is deceivingly exhausting. If you haven't been there, this clinch wrestling, especially up against the cage, is one of the fastest ways to sap the energy out of you, especially when you got a 250-pound man.
Oh yeah, people that haven't experienced cage wrestling think that these guys are just taking a break. When I promise you, they are both working hard right now. Tino on that single leg. Oh. Transitioning to the double, almost gets it.
And that could be a real challenge. Oh, wow. Especially when you got someone with such long legs. Their base is so long. It can be really hard if you don't have both legs secured, that they can just plant one foot on the ground.
Oh, yeah. Tino's got the double underhooks now. Let's see what he can do with it. Pressing Barker back into the cage.
Barker training with Doug Usher, who is a fantastic judo practitioner, black belt in both judo and jiu-jitsu, so you know he's getting a lot of reps in this position.
Oh, definitely. Usher has had some phenomenal wins in the NFC. Guy's an excellent competitor as well as coach.
Barker doing a good job keeping his legs wide, base in there as he secures that tight plume.
Tino's got to find a way to deal with those knees because Barker is really landing them hard.
A little bit of a hack there. Wow, big shot over the top. A little bit of a hack there you see at the amateur level. Guys know that there's no elbows. So oftentimes when they end up in that tie plume, they'll just put their forearms and elbows in there to
If
block
y'all have not already,
Something
make
I
sure you
don't
grab
advise in
yourself.
Both of these guys showed up ready to go, and they're ready for this second round, both on their feet. Barker showing remarkable composure. Looks to not be breathing all that hard. Referee Brett McKeon just trying not to get run over.
Oh, yeah, these guys cannot wait to get back after each other in the second round. Barker very light on his feet for a big guy. You don't often see that in the heavyweight division.
He's got that bouncy style. It can be a little predictable. Tino, I think, spotted it right there. When you go out, in, it's easy to spot those entries.
Tino trying to treetop that single leg, but unfortunately was unsuccessful.
Yeah, that's a tough way to take down somebody with legs as long as Dimeon Barker.
I was going to say, if Tino can connect those hands, he can take them backwards. Tino just has to get those hands connected.
Referee Brett McKinnon right on top of this. If these guys are too inactive, he will separate it. And Tino lands one low. Dimeon Barker will get upwards of 5 minutes here. That is a big, strong knee to have right into your testicles.
That knee to the cup is a phenomenal technique in Krav Maga. Unfortunately, it is not allowed in MMA.
My man Dimeon Barker has 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes.
Dimeon does not want the 5. He is ready to go. And we are back.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see a fighter will milk it. Oftentimes, if they're tired. I think the eye test tells us that Tino is probably a little bit more tired, so if I'm Dimeon Barker, I'm wanting to push this pace as fast as I can and get right back to it.
I agree. Dimeon Barker with his knees very close together. If Tino can drop down for that double, I think it's there for him. SBG corner screaming for the double leg for Tino. With Barker's legs right next to each other. That should be an easy transition.
Yeah, Luke Blackman's got a good voice. You'll hear him later. He'll be calling the last couple of fights with me. He is loud. We can all hear him. Big knee from Barker. And if you're Barker, exactly, you need to keep that distance right there. But the uppercuts is allowing him to get close. Work your straight line punches. This is where Tino wants to be. Taking away that reach advantage, getting in close.
Tino feels much more comfortable in the clinch. He does not want to stand and trade with Barker. Barker has that long jab cross that's been giving Tino a little bit of trouble.
You hear the SBG Athens corner screaming for the legs. Barker, though, has a good base.
Tino on the single leg. Unfortunately, he does not have much time to work.
Round 2 in the books, and I got to imagine that there's sometimes you can hear it, you can comprehend it, you just can't do it. Fatigue is real.
Now let me see everybody do this.
2 rounds in the books. Don't forget, fight fans, we have 23 total bouts tonight, including 3 title fights, but 4 if we include our jiu-jitsu title. So get comfortable, grab a beverage. We've still got a lot of action for you this evening. John, if you're a judge, how you scoring this bout so far?
I'm not sure. Tino definitely had the control aspect of it, but I think the bigger shots were landed by Barker. Some of those knees, you could tell, really affected Roland.
In a bout where there's not a whole lot of activity, you don't have to land a whole much to take the round, as we saw in our last bout.
Videography or photos, but please make sure your flash is off.
And I think both fighters need to go into this final round assuming they have to win round 3.
I agree with that, Jim. You always need to make a statement in the 3rd round. Especially in a fight as close as this, you do not want to leave in the judge's hands. If you can get a finish, that is definitely... Oh, Tino looking for that takedown. He so desperately wanted the whole fight.
That was a golden opportunity. You see the slip from Dimeon Barker. It is wet. These guys are both very slippery. Just a little too slow to close that distance. And another one in the nuts. That one might get a point deducted. That was, I don't want to say blatant, but there was nowhere for that knee to go but right into the junk. Oof, that one was flush. Maybe Tino just really wanted a break.
I was going to say, they are pushing the pace hard. Tino's open mouth breathing right now. He might have needed a couple seconds to relax.
I'm a little surprised referee Brett McKeon has not taken a point. That's twice. And that one, you know, sometimes the guy will shift, kind of move into a knee. That one just went straight up. He had that one under, battling on the cage, knee went up 90 degrees.
I agree. I thought the referee had definitely taken a point for that. You gotta keep control of the fight.
Look around the club. What do I say? Everybody rocking side to side to the beat. Snap a knife.
A stern second warning for the referee to Roland.
Yeah, a little surprised, because if Tino finds a way to win this fight and I'm Dimeon Barker's corner, I'd be pretty upset about that point. Big shot from Tino.
Tino definitely wanting to stay long and avoid that clinch of Roland.
It was a big leg kick from Barker. Roland responds. When you have a bull like Tino Roland, backing straight up is typically not a good idea, because you're going out of space and you're going to find yourself back in this position.
Oh, definitely. Tino wants this fight in the clinch no matter what, and he will not take a step backwards. So as Barker, you need to be more of the matador when you're playing with a bull like Roland. Roland back with double unders. A position he's been for a good portion of the fight. And he is able to get on the back for just a second. But way to fight back to your feet for Barker.
We are under 1 minute left here in this bout as we find ourselves back in a familiar position. Rory Singer just yelling at his athlete. You got to do something. It's one thing to engage in the clinch, but then you got to work. Just holding an under is not gonna get you any points. Roland trying to get the takedown. Barker just too long, is too good of base for that. As the final bell hits, mercifully, as this bout is in the books. We will go to the judges. I'm not entirely sure how you score that.
Like job where you stay, till the college ball, where the chop calls.
Bout number 9 in the books.
Just about his own. J's on my feet, I'm on that Patron, so get like me. 69 cutlass with the bucket seats.
Fans, it is warm here in the tannery. Don't let it be hot at your house. Be sure to hit up Champion Heating and Air, owned and operated by NFC fighter Josh Farrer. Do yourself a favor before this Georgia summer is in full effect. Have them come out. Have them run a diagnostic of your HVAC. Make sure you are all set for the summer, because you do not want your AC going out in the middle of July here in Atlanta. Champion Heating and Air, owned by Josh Farrer. Give them a call. Schedule it. Your first diagnostic. Have them come out. Make sure your unit is in tip-top shape. That happened to me a couple summers ago, John, and it sucked. My AC went out like in the middle of August. Trying to sleep in an 85-degree room is really uncomfortable.
Verse number 2,
Still got the energy at the end after the fight.
my neck pocket full of bitten frames. When I'm in the mall, you won't just pause. I pop a few tags, give me that on the wall. Time to flip the work, make the block bump. Boys in the hood call me Black Donald Trump. Dope boy magic, 7 days a week. Number 1 record, longest nitty on the beat. Do I think they like me? Better yet, I know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, your judges score this contest 29, 28, 30, 27, and 29, 28 for your winner by unanimous decision, Antentio.